Come here. Get off.
Hey y'all, funky monkeys. Welcome to this week's episode of The Turn On. So this is your lovely host, your lovely ho-host, Erica and Killa. And this week we are reading a listener submitted story titled Brazilian Wax. Brazilian Wax. It was submitted by our lovely listener, Jacqueline Hawkins, and it is in her anthology, The Erotic Tales, Love, Sex, and Submission. So sit back, relax, get your wine, get your weed, get whatever you need, and enjoy.
Brazilian Wax by Jacqueline R. Hawkins. I woke up early Saturday morning to go to my wax appointment. The idea of not having to shave my pussy every few days was well worth the money. I've been going to the beautiful Babe salon for a few months now, and I loved how my pussy looked and felt after it was over. The smoothness of my skin turned me on, and when I played with myself, I'd imagine that it was my new esthetician, Monica, who was rubbing my newly waxed pussy, making me come all over her fingers. I get so wet thinking about her, but I was too shy to tell her that I wanted her to taste my sweetness. Monica was a new employee of the salon, having only started a few months before I started getting waxed there. The first time I met her, I was confused. "Oh, hey, this is Monica. She'll be taking over from Stacy from now on." I later learned that Stacy quit after she found a new job making twice the money she'd been making at Beautiful Babes. The first thing that I noticed about Monica was that she was a woman of color. Wow, I thought to myself, who would expect another sister out here in this ritzy-ass salon? I was happy as well because even though Stacy was professional and made small talk with me, our interactions just seemed fake. I doubted that she was interested in me or my family, so when Monica came out, I was ecstatic to see a smiling brown face. Oh, and did I mention she was sexy too? She was curvy in all the right places under her purple scrubs. "Hey, I'm Monica," she said, extending her hand out the first time we met. "Hey, I'm Jay," I said, smiling at her. Monica and I hit it off, and I soon started to request her for all of my appointments. She made me feel at ease and was so familiar with African American skin in general. I lay on a table, naked from the waist down, and opened my legs, folding them outward like my feet were praying. After my first wax, I laughed and said jokingly, "So now you're my bestie because you've seen all my goodies." She laughed too and said, "I know, right?" And after that first day, I had a crush on her. A few nights later, while lying naked in my bed, I started thinking about her. My pussy started to leak and my clit got engorged. I lay in my bed, rubbing my hardened clitoris, feeling the wetness all over my hands, but wishing that Monica was lying next to me and playing with my pussy. I came so hard and so fast. The idea of her mouth and fingers all over my smooth, wet pussy was too much for me to handle. I had fantasized about riding her pretty face and coming all over her lips. A few weeks passed, and once again, I was scheduled to get my Brazilian wax. I arrived at the salon later than normal, having had to schedule my appointment after work. I walked in and signed in with the receptionist. "Monica will be with you shortly," the young blonde woman said to me. "Okay, thanks," I said, looking up from my cell phone. As I started to scroll through my Instagram feed, she walked out. "Hey girl, come on back," she said to me. Before we walked through the doors into the back of the salon, the receptionist told Monica that she was going to leave for the day. "She's your last customer. Can you just lock up when you finish?" "Okay, no problem," she said, slightly rolling her eyes at the receptionist. "I swear she's always doing that stupid shit," she said as we walked into the room. "What'd you say?" I asked her, dropping my purse on the table. "That heifer always leaves early and asks me to lock this place up for her." I laughed out loud because she was irritated. Yeah, I know. I still got you here, right, Chica? She said, grinning and giving me a little wink. I already knew the drill as I took off my skirt, my flats, and my panties. I sat them on the chair and got up on the table. Cute panties, she said, looking over at me and noticing my Victoria's Secret. Thanks, I said and placed my hands on my lower belly. Wow, she's noticing my panties now? I thought to myself. We made small talk as she waxed me from front to back. I was already horny and the hot wax all over my pussy excited me even more. The closer she smoothed the hot wax near my clit, the more I could feel it swell and get harder and harder. Shit, I thought. She's gonna see it. Don't get excited now, please. But the heat of the wax, along with the slight pain, made me hot and bothered, and Monica immediately noticed how swollen my clit was. I see someone's excited, she said, laughing a little. I couldn't say anything because I was so embarrassed, so I just let out a nervous laugh. I stammered. What? She said, taking off one of her gloves. She took the tip of one of her fingers on her right hand and ran it down the side of my clit. That action made it stand out even more since the hair was gone from that area. She did it so quickly that I couldn't even process what was happening between us, but I let out a quick moan. So you like how I do that, she said, smirking. Hell yeah, I quickly said, not caring about being proper or pretending. Yes, I like the way you do that. Can you do it again, please? I finally had the nerve to look up in her eyes. She had a hungry look as she gazed down at me. She didn't say another word to me as she took the glove off and turned the lights down in the room. Open your legs for me. I want to see just how hard that little clit can get, she said in a husky voice. She started rubbing my clit slowly, letting the wetness ease over her fingers. Slow, then fast, she stroked my clit until I felt like I would explode. I moaned softly as she worked me out, and right before I thought I would finally come, she stopped and smoothly pulled my shirt over my head. She unhooked my bra, freeing my pierced nipples in the process. Oh, so your nipples pierced too, huh? Yes, I said breathlessly, looking into her eyes. Why'd you stop? I said, almost pleading with her. My pussy felt as if it would explode from the inside out. I started to feel that telltale sign, and I knew I was close to orgasming. Shh, she said as she pulled me up into a sitting position on the table. Monica grabbed her stool and sat between my legs. Damn, all this pretty pussy in my face, she said as she opened my legs as wide as they would go. She planted tiny kisses all over my mound, making sure not to touch my clit. I moaned even louder as she began to lick and suck my pussy like she was eating a melting ice cream cone. Fuck, I said over and over as she expertly ate my pussy, sending shivers through my whole body. Monica seemed to know just when I was about to come, and she stopped just when I was about to come, and every time I begged her not to stop. Oh, please, baby, don't. I'm about to come, I moaned to her. Open your legs and touch your ankles, she told me. Yeah, just like that. I want all that good pussy in my face. Monica's lips were wet and glistening with my juices. She licked her lips slowly as she put her face back down between my legs. She alternated between licks and sucks until I felt that familiar sensation course through my body. I began to lose control. It's the first of 3 orgasms ripped through me back to back, but Monica never stopped licking and sucking. My body was in complete spasm. I couldn't hold back anymore as the last one came through, and I grabbed the back of her head and held her there, not wanting to let this delicious feeling ever stop. My whole body was tingling as I collapsed back on the table. Monica looked up at me, licking her lips and smiling. So this means you're coming back in 4 weeks, right?
So we are back. Thank you, Killa, for a lovely reading. This one was a short story, so we don't have to really give much background. We
Yeah,
will
that was it. Y'all
say
heard the whole thing.
y'all read the
That
whole
was
thing,
it.
the whole juicy, squirty, nasty
Yes.
thing.
Beginning to end.
So first, let's shout out Jacqueline. She is one of our listeners, and she's been with us. She's been rocking with us for a while now.
Yeah, like super engaged on the social media and asked. I think she asked on IG, like, do we take user submitted shit? We was like, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, it makes our job easier.
Exactly.
So yeah, so thank you, Jacqueline, for shouting us out and sending us this information. So me saying shouting us out made me realize, bitch, we old. Like,
I mean, yeah, but why did that make you realize
so Kenrya had her birthday recently,
that?
and we did one of those tribute things where everybody sends in videos. And I realized that we
It was the
use
sweetest thing.
old people as words.
Oh,
Like we'd be like,
nigga,
yeah,
I was
you got
cringing
it, about it.
myself.
This is
Yeah, somebody
What
said
did
that.
people
Somebody
say?
said we was balso. She said I was
Yeah,
balso, which is like an old school Delta
that like
term.
even we know that's old school, but
Yeah.
just stuff that we used. I'm like, yo, nigga, we old as fuck. Like, so
Yeah.
today I'm
I'm
driving
saying
my
y'all
kid
old
home.
as fuck because I'm not in the video.
Birds of a feather, quack quack,
Whatever,
motherfucker.
whatever.
So it made me think about. So I'm driving my kid home from school today, and
Mm.
he's telling me how his teacher plays Among Us with students in the class. And I was like, is that
Oh,
that
wow.
game where people are sus? You would have thought I had like did a whole fucking stand-up routine the way this kid laughed. Like, nigga, sus is a word. Like, I use sus.
That's what I was about to say. They think that sus is. I'm like, nigga, it's short for suspect. It's not new.
Yeah, like she looked mad sus. And we used it before there was a fucking Among Us. Like, it just made me mad. I'm like, bruh, like, I ain't fucking old. I mean, I'm old, but I ain't that old. But it just, yeah. Like,
They
it's
think
wild.
that we're ancient, and I don't remember ever really thinking that like older people were old. I feel like I always had a pretty decent amount of perspective around what old really was.
Oh, nigga, I didn't. I did not. I did not. Did fucking not. Like, my mama was like old as crust. By the time my mama was my age, my dad died at 40.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Do you know how much life I got
So
ahead of
young.
me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all. You know how much life I got ahead of me?
I think maybe part of why old wasn't like things didn't seem old to me. So, my dad's the youngest of like 15 kids.
Oh.
So like to me,
he was young.
He was young. Yeah, he's the baby. And my dad's he's gaining on his late 60s right now. And I still don't really think of him as old. But I had an auntie who died when I was in high school. We have the exact same birthday, 50 years apart. Like, and I mean, kind of, I think of her as, I guess if she were still here, she would have turned 90 last week. So I guess I think of her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of kids.
My family is fucking huge. And my dad's best friend is his nephew. They are a year apart.
Well,
they grew up together.
Some things never change.
Yeah. All right, bitch. Moving along.
Yeah, that's wild. Like I had like no, like in my mind, like my mama was old as fuck. Like
Really?
my daddy was old. And I also also in my mind, like that was like in black and white days. Like color didn't exist until we were of age. Which hurts me because like last night my aunt was going through pictures and stuff, and she sent me a picture of like my first Howard boyfriend. Like that was my boo.
Wow.
He came to see me. We both came to St. Louis to visit the family. That was like, And so I saw the picture and I sent it to him. And I'm like, this shit looks like a fucking daguerreotype. Isn't that what they be like? Don't move.
Stand there real still. Yeah, with the long ass
This shit was
exposure.
blurry than a motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, damn.
So technology has advanced a lot. I think about that sometimes. Like, so okay, my kid thinks that black and white is just like what the fuck. Like we were watching something. Mind you, when she was little, she used to watch black and white musicals because you gave her a whole bunch of them for her like her
Yes.
fourth
Problematic
birthday or
ass
something
Seven
like
Brides
that.
for Seven Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, we only finished that one once, but we've watched some of the others several times. Mimi in St. Louis has been watched several times. It's got its own issues, but
It's
really
a little
good.
problematic, but look, she will always see it and remember Auntie Munch.
Exactly. But so she thinks that black and white is just like, oh my God, you bitches is from the Stone Age. And she also seems to think that we were born in the 1800s because she don't really get how numbers work. Yo, when she was like... she just knows it was before the 2000s. She don't fucking know. And then she like... I remember when I was in my early 30s, she don't know. She don't have no real concept of time. She ain't got a concept of a fucking half an hour, let alone decades and centuries. She used to think it was the funniest thing though. She's shady as hell. I remember I was 33 and I would ask her, or other people would ask her how old I was, and she would say 43. And I'd be like, nah, little nigga, I'm 33. And she'd be like, yeah, 43. Like, she just thought it was funny as hell. And she knew exactly, literally the Norbert Bebo situation all over again. But she was dead ass. Like, this is how old you are. And this is what I'm going to say. And it doesn't matter that I'm a decade off because she don't care. It's all the same.
So when I was little, now that you're saying that, when I was younger, people were like, how old's your mom? 40. She was always 40. The day she died, she was 40 in my mind because I never bothered to keep up with it. Never bothered to keep up with it. How old's your mom?
Wow.
She was 40 for like fucking 30 years. She had like a span before and after.
In which you were identifying her as 40. She probably wanted to beat your ass.
Yeah, until she turned 41. And then she was like, huh, this ain't right. Okay, so enough of our old ads. So this story, there's been lots of talk about like, does your partner like a bald vagina, a smooth vagina? And actually in my cancer group, we have had a lot of discussion about body hair because some of us are in the middle of chemo, others have done chemo. And the best thing about chemo was that I didn't have a lick of body hair. Like from here down, I was a fucking baby. It was like I don't want to use it. It was smooth as motherfuckers. Is a motherfucker smooth?
Yeah, she's going from her. I mean, if you say
from my neck down,
from her chin, yes,
it was smooth, and even my face was good because I'm a little fucking Ewok, right? Like I do, girl. I like when I started growing.
So even like
back,
the random facial hairs were gone.
Oh,
to
like
everything.
Not even random facial hair. That doesn't make you an Ewok. I have like a fucking layer of like I'm a little ball of fur. Like when I was trying to grow my hair back, all the cancer boys was like, take biotin, bitch. I had a fucking handlebar mustache. I was taking biotin. I said, oh no, we just gonna have to wait. It was horrible. So I am thinking about laser hair removal, particularly from a puss. Because, and it's not even for somebody else. It's just, I want a shorn pussy, right? But then I keep thinking about that scene in, it's a movie. I don't remember what it is. They're at a winery and this one was like, I got laser hair removal on my puss. But now I'm going to be an 80-year-old woman with a billy goat tuft. And that's what I'm like, do I want a billy goat tuft? But my homegirl was like, I got it all waxed, all lasered off. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
I don't like a bald situation. It doesn't. I don't like it. I like when I used to do. No, not.
You
So
like
here's
it
the thing,
high and tight.
I get ingrowns, so I can't even like go low because low curls back in because nappy
That's
hair.
why I want. Well, a
So
Caesar isn't okay. A Caesar is like all one lane. It's not
I mean,
short.
that's
It's not a
essentially what I
buzz.
do now because
Yeah, so you like a Caesar.
I finally bought like a little
Finally.
electric because bitch was using scissors. I almost cut my clit off. So I bought one of those
Jeez.
like a little Phillips
Yeah.
razor rechargeable thing, and it's awesome. And I put the number 3 guard on, and it does exactly what I wanted to do.
Wait.
But I
Oh.
used to do. I'll send it to show you what it is.
No. Because
But
I definitely.
you think you have that one?
No, when I was getting my hair cut regularly, it was 2 on the sides, 3 in the middle. That's
Because I don't want it too low because if it goes too low, I get ingrowns.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But I started with sugaring back when I lived in New York, and that hurt
Nigga,
like
no.
hell. Well, I know that
Nigga, no.
now, but I didn't know at the time. And one of our friends and I went to do it, and I screamed so loud that they were like, "Listen, either you gonna stop, or we gonna have to stop
Which
this
friend is
altogether
this?
because you're scaring." One of our line sisters.
Bitch, you got a ton of them.
This one.
Oh.
Wait, we on video now. Nobody gonna know what that means. Anyway, we went to do that. And so then after a while, because I realized, okay, that shit hurts, even though I learned how to prep eventually so that it didn't hurt so much. But then I started waxing when I moved out here, and I found a great black anesthetist. Is that the word? Is that what they do?
Esthetician.
Esthetician.
You about
Listen,
to call
I
this
mix those
woman
two
a
words up all
damn
the time. A nurse anesthetist. I mix
Yeah.
them up. Yes.
Same difference. Same difference.
And so yeah, so she's awesome. But then COVID happened. I should probably stop before that. Who knows? But I don't care, and I don't like it all the way down. Even when I was doing it, I like a little landing strip. I don't like to be bare. Once
I like
somebody
the
accidentally
feeling.
bared, and I was like, ugh.
I like the
Too much for
feeling
me.
and look up. I remember the first time I got a wax, I literally got on the metro and was like this. I'm y'all, Kenrya, describe for the listeners.
You on video. Oh, okay. So she is it appears that she is peering into her leggings, because I know you ain't got no real pants. And she
Bitch,
is
I got on
fascinated.
sweatpants. But yeah, I was literally like, I rode like 6 stops, like with my pants
Looking
open, like looking like, God damn, that's a pretty pussy. Yeah. So I like the look.
Yeah,
I like the feel. And that's why I want to do laser, because with laser, it doesn't, you don't have the hair grows back. But I am getting waxed soon before my Eat, Pray, Love situation.
Birthday.
And
yes.
I'm going to get a vajacial. Vajacial? Is that what they call it? It's like a
I don't know.
facial for
a
the vag.
Rejuvenation situation. What do they
Oh,
do?
no. That's the Mona Lisa, which they talk about heavily in the breast cancer groups. But
what is that?
I don't know the details because I haven't been enough to look for it. But from what I understand, it helps with your puss. Like a lot of times women that have experienced breast cancer, because you're on all these like medicines and hormones, it's like an earring hole. You don't use it, that bitch close up. Well, the atrophies. And so the Mona Lisa, I know some women use it because it's like, it make your pussy tight. Other women just be like, look, make this motherfucker work. Mm-hmm. So from what I understand, it helps with having sex. I'm not doing that. I just want to get like a little facial down there. And they say it helps keep everything soft and supple and keeps the ingrowns from coming back. Going into my Eat, Pray, Love situation, I am all about luxury. I am all about Black girl luxury because I'm quitting my job soon. So this might be the last time I get to enjoy true luxury for a minute. So yeah, I will have the finest of things. But back to sugaring. Bitch.
Yeah.
Sugaring is so brutal. Sugaring reminds me of like when you find you know how like I have a dog. I used to have a dog when I was a kid, and instead of a lint roller, we just take some packing tape and just pat your leg. you know.
Like what you do when you ain't got a lint roller and
Yeah,
you
you
get
go
the
like
lint
this.
off your black pants right quick.
Exactly. That is what sugaring is. Because it's not even
Yeah.
like they like, it's literally
It's
like,
like taking silly putty and just putting it on and ripping it off over and over again. Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I didn't
no.
know, and I had never had any type of hair removal before that. And I think I got like a coupon, or maybe my homegirl, like she just wanted to do it because we were in town. I was like, fuck it. And I remember like,
I'm sorry. Wait, so I knew that I needed to mute myself so y'all could
yeah, but
hear
you
me.
forgot.
I forgot y'all could see me burp. My bad, y'all. Okay.
That's okay. Everybody works. And so we went to do it, and I mean, I learned later, and the same thing goes for waxing, right? You want about a quarter of an inch. Anything longer, anything shorter, you setting yourself up. But I didn't know at the time, and it was way too long, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, my shit's
Not
a
great.
forest right now. Like, you see the hair on your head? That's how long my shit is right now. Which also
At
shows
least it grew
that.
back.
I mean, yeah, but it could. I definitely would have been fine without.
You would have been fine. Yeah.
And bitch, the hair on my legs right now, so long.
See, so I am, you know me, I'm not super hairy. So I think the last time I touched my legs was New Year's Eve.
Bitch, you could fucking do macrame with my shit right now. Like, you could fucking do a hook and chain Afghanistan. My shit's on my legs.
Oh my God.
They're pretty fucking crazy. Okay, so there has been lots of discussion about whether or not partners enjoy a waxed puss or a shorn puss or whatever. And I have heard from some men, no men that I've been with, I don't know, whatever, but they're like, some men are just like, the men, let me say, I've heard from men, like, not saying it. Anyway, some men that I've heard from is like, I need a little hair down there to remind me that I'm not.
Yes.
You know?
Yep, I too have heard that. Which,
but
yep.
I'm like, when you admit you ain't gonna, I know too much for you to be reminded about anything young. You're like, this grizzled pussy got some miles on it. She know what she doing.
I have never had a man say that they wanted one thing or another.
Oh,
Well,
nigga, you
what?
don't get
That's
to comment.
not true.
Like,
Yeah,
you don't
no,
get to comment.
there was one person who, damn, we really can't do codes no more because people can see us. Yeah, we do codes all the time when nobody can see us to tell each other who we talking about. I had one person who once basically said that he didn't go down on me as often because he wanted there to be less hair there. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
it ain't that good no way. We all right.
Yeah, I
kept right on with what the fuck I was doing, which was
you gonna
when
get the
I
pussy
felt
that
like
served. Like, you gonna get
Exactly.
the pussy that served before you. Like, you don't get the right to like.
No,
request.
I don't say nothing about you as long as you clean. Like,
oh, now here comes the double stare. Here comes problematic ass Erica. Yeah, like I can't. You can't have all that long furry. Ugh.
Well, see, you know
That's
what
me
it is,
scraping
though?
a fucking hair off the back of my tongue. Like,
okay, so I tend to,
keep that shit.
be with men who, well, not keep mine trimmed down, and I am courteous into the fact that you gonna have your,
That's just courtesy.
It's just be and I expect the same.
My shit is not courteous right now.
I expect the same courtesy that I am extending. But also I have been with lots of men who are very, who lift and all of that kind of stuff, and they tend to be better about like shaving everywhere.
Yeah.
That's like a thing that goes with that kind of hand in hand.
I never understood shaving the chest
experience. I don't care.
Have you had guys shave the chest?
I
shave
have,
their
yeah.
chest. I mean, I probably should shave my chest, but I'm not that furry.
It's the only time it's even a little bit of a thing is when it's first starting to grow back. It can be a little stubbly, but
Yeah,
You
no.
deal with it because by the time I'm up against the stubble, it's a lot of other stuff going on. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's be honest. Like, if we're going to do a general overview of Erica's lovers, we have more on the I lift side. I mean, less on the I lift side of the world of the line than on the I
Yes.
lift side of the line. Wait, does
That
that
is
make sense?
true. Yes.
So actually, as I think about it, the lovers that are on the I lift side of the line, they do, but the other ones, them niggas just they
don't
got
care.
titties.
And that's fine.
Say that out loud.
You did say that out
I
loud.
love me.
Nothing wrong with that either.
It was funny because I definitely I didn't. Okay, if you ask me, I say I don't have a type, right? Everybody around me says I have a type. And then one of my girlfriends from like fucking 6th grade was like, yeah, we was in 6th grade. Erica was like, oh, I love some Gerald Levert. Like,
You're consistent.
You like a big old nigga that's got a little fluff and a beard. And I was like, oh, damn. Did I? Yeah.
I used to be in the choir, and every time you hear Ain't No Stopping Us Down, you text me and be like, bitch, you ruined the song.
Which is why, wait, wasn't that what DMX was? No, was it DMX? Who was it? At the end of a verses. Somebody
it was oh my God. It was Wu-Tang. So it was I forget who
Ghostface
was the one that,
and Ghostface
the little short one.
Yeah, like wait, Ghostface is a little short
Raekwon.
one. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
A little gummy bear. And they was like doing that old grandpa, like the grandpa
yes,
like
with a towel.
Yeah. I was just like, oh shit. There can we go. Okay.
But so I'm from Cleveland. This was sponsored by the radio station WZAK 93.1. It was the black station back then. I don't know what it is now because I ain't been home and I don't listen to the radio when I do go home. But I know we got some listeners in Cleveland. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they used to sponsor this choir, and it was kids, and we sang church songs. I think they called us an inspirational choir. So we traveled to churches all around the state. Yeah, lots of Kirk Franklin, lots of Ain't No Stopping Us Now. And then so we would tour churches and we would sing there. And so I met a bunch of people actually in doing that. And I forgot where I was going with this story, but whatever. Mike Tyson, we opened for Hammer once, we opened for Mace, we opened for Total at at Geauga Lake. We sang the Star Spangled Banner at the circus. I mean, just literally anything that you
y'all need kids? We got some.
Yeah, and we would have our call time. We had all these different outfits, so they'd be like red. So all through Christmas we had red. We had to wear our red dresses. We had green dresses. We had black. We had white. It just depended on what the church was. If it was daytime, if it was nighttime. We was all over the place. I cannot remember why I started this story, but it was a funny story. Well, it was something about Ain't No Stopping Us Now, and then there was another song.
Ghostface, Raekwon and Chef. Shay like Ghostface.
I'm sure it'll come. I love that song. I'm sure it'll come back.
That song reminds me so much of freshman year in college. Because I had my group of like homies in college were like, I'm letting you provide the soundtrack.
I don't remember. Oh no, you good.
You know, you gotta.
He lost.
Okay, so my group of like my crew freshman year was a chick from Oakland, a chick from Brooklyn, a chick from the Bronx, me from St. Louis, and a chick from Chicago. I'm probably missing some people, but it was definitely like West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. Do we have any down south representation? I don't think so. But anyway, so like there are certain songs that I hear and I think about like looking at a chick from Detroit. So I think about looking at particular people in the club,
Mhm.
and that song, my friend from Oakland will get so hyped and start crip walking to it. And then my girls from fucking
Why?
Brooklyn be like, you can't fucking crip walk to that song. You can't crip walk to that
It-
song.
I mean, it literally makes no sense. How do you even crip walk to that song?
Well,
It don't lend itself to it.
crip walking was
I mean,
generous.
sure, you can crip walk to anything.
No,
Oh, okay.
the idea that she was crip walking was generous. But I mean, whatever.
So I used to only be able to crip walk to Drop It Like It's Hot. If Drop It Like It's Hot came on and I had shots, I was crip walking.
No, explosives.
Also explosive.
Wait. So
That's not explosive. That's not explosive.
Oh, well, anyway. I could only crip walk.
That's the one. The next episode. I don't know what it's called. But that's what they say.
Yeah, then the next episode, and then they always go into explosive. So
I love that song.
The Ritz. Okay. So thinking about this story, this chick took a very, very vanilla situation and was like, the shit went left. The shit went left.
Yeah, something I could never.
Because here's
it's so businesslike when you're actually
Jacqueline
getting it
sent
done.
us the lit, like her anthology, and so we were like, just kind of flipping through. I think I was the one that first found it. We was like flipping through, and I was like, oh, Brazilian wax, and I was like, oh shit, and like turn on a bitch real quick. And it made me question, and I think we asked this of our guest in the next episode, but like, okay, so have you ever had a situation like that? And I was thinking, as I prepared for this episode, at first I was thinking no. But then I remembered, I dated barbers.
You did
Only
date
two.
barbers.
So one was like the stereotype guy,
Yeah.
But then I remember I was dating this one guy who was a barber. And I was a little thought. I always used to tell my ex-husband, nigga, I became an adult in DC, so yeah. But yeah, there was this guy, he was a barber, and he was at a particular shop. I'm not gonna call it out because they didn't have many young people, so y'all know exactly who it was. Except he wasn't that young.
I was about to say, okay,
yeah. But this was when I was living in the house.
Oh, okay.
And there was a barber shop nearby. And so
okay.
It was so gross. So I went there and I got my hair cut by this dude, and he kind of kept like,
Of course he did.
I mean, niggas are niggas, right?
Yeah.
And Erica's a nigga, right? So like,
yes.
if you gonna drop it, I might pick it up, So he kept dropping, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this up. And so we ended up fucking in the barbershop.
Oh, okay.
It was
that
definitely
is very similar to this situation.
Yeah, but it was because it was like I had an evening appointment, and then he just kept dropping, and so then he cut my hair, and I was like, oh, well, I'll wait for you to clean up, and then he cleaned up, and then it was like on a chair.
Did y'all go to
in the front?
Isn't there a window?
Not that barbershop, but maybe you are thinking it. Not the one. God damn it. Okay. But anyway. So this one.
You were able to be concealed from the street.
We were able to conceal what was happening. Because it was in the evening. The lights were out. But yeah.
Okay.
I definitely did that.
Was it worth it? Did you enjoy it?
Bitch, I didn't remember it until like fucking less than 24 hours ago when I was trying to prepare for this show. So not really.
Okay. I mean, it served a purpose in the moment.
Yeah. I was. Oh yeah. But anyway, it definitely went left. Have you ever had any situations like that? I don't think so. I think you said you haven't, right?
I can't think of any. No.
Huh.
I mean, you know my history about as well as I do. I don't think so.
Okay, so you know how we talk about barbers. So what did they say were thought jobs?
Thought jobs?
Barbers, HVAC
barbers,
techs.
DJs,
DJs, yup. Barbers, DJs, HVAC techs,
promoters, club promoters.
Promoters be like swimming in pussy.
That's the number one thought job.
Yeah.
Tattoo artists. Word to my cousin.
Girl.
My cousin is an excellent tattoo artist.
Speaking of which, I got started my tattoo removal today.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga.
You were there for so long.
Oh, so
even with the numbing stuff?
Yeah. And then and I knew I should have brought my own numbing cream. Or at least did it, but it was just, it was so fucking long. And the entire time I was like, but it's on its way out.
Okay. Hopefully it's just a few sessions. And
I'll be clear. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping they say 3 at the minimum, but start talking.
Okay. Well, hopefully.
Okay. Yes.
It will be fast, and the estimate of 3 will be accurate.
Yeah,
because you don't have to deal with that too much longer. And you can pre-numb before you go.
Huh? What's that?
And you can pre-numb now that
I'm going to pre-numb before I go. And then also, I'm wondering if I can ice myself, because when they're doing it, they have a vacuum cleaner that and blows cold air on it while they're doing it. So it yeah, it's like the equivalent of when you get in a wax and they go, and then she slaps it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Ooh, you know what feel good?
Can you bring that little portable fan thing that you have?
Nah, her shit's better. It's
whoa.
Okay. So, you know what's, okay, so waxing. I'm all over the place on this one. Waxing. Everyone thinks that the hardest part is between your booty cheeks, right?
That's the easy part.
That's the easy part.
You don't even feel nothing at that point.
They be flip over. Here, okay.
Yeah,
that's the best part. Because you be coming out.
It don't even feel like nothing. That's when you start talking.
Did I tell you about a home wax kit?
No.
Amazon needs
thinking of our friend who bought one. Maybe
Amazon needs to stop allowing me to purchase things, right?
We got at least 2 friends who tried that who said it was hell. Why would you do that?
Anyway, yes, I bought it. I feel like Amazon needs a parental purchase button that triggers if I'm gonna order something, it should email you or somebody be like, let someone with a cooler head decide this, Okay, so also sex with unexpected people. Have you had sex with somebody that you have been that you didn't, that you were this would be nice, but then it happens, you'd be like, well, goddamn.
Okay, not that. I've had sex with someone who I had never ever thought about having sex with, and then it happened.
And was it a monster dick?
No.
Was it good sex?
It was fine. It was very fast.
You made that shit sound like it was a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No,
I mean, it had some protein and sugars in it, but
it was, you were there. It was.
I was there.
Very drunken. It was okay. So this was when I came. This was.
Oh yeah.
Our lost weekend.
Okay.
It was in a bathroom. It was a lot of people in various areas. Yeah, it ended up being in the bathroom because there was somebody else in the bed.
Wait,
because there.
I was thinking about a different situation. Now I got that situation, and I'm on. And continue.
Yeah, no, because I remember there was somebody else in the bed, and so
I was it was a lot happening. It was a lot happening, and it's funny because this particular group of people are always like, "Oh my god, I've never been to a sex club. Bitch, I can tell you
what
weekend
do you think that was."
Nothing.
Yeah, I walked in on all kinds of things. It was a night. It was a weekend.
It was a weekend. Oh, that was a bad weekend.
I mean, yeah. So the actual situation was very fast. It was the culmination of 2 very drunken days. So
And then like it
I
was
didn't
one of
wasn't
those
expecting
things.
a lot, but it
Yeah.
was like this is how this has to end. We have to do this. We can't not do this. But
But
it
then
was
you did it
also
was
someone who
like,
I'd known for years. It was fine. But you know what it was? It was like oh, maybe we'll try this again when we're actually sober and want to take time and that kind of thing, but not like I don't know. It was all like the shortness of it was excused by everything that had come before it.
and
Is really all I can say.
I've had
I didn't
situations.
expect a lot.
I've had homies that were like homies, and we like definitely had sex on some like, oh, we're homies.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't become homies with the, I don't think either of us became homies with the intention of this is going to end in sex. And we were just like,
Yeah.
you cool, I'm cool, we homies. And then we had sex and was like, oh, okay. Back to
Yeah.
homies.
Well, and that was that situation, but it wasn't. I don't know that either of us thought it was going to necessarily turn into more. I remember we talked after and we're like, if we ever happen to be in the same city again, because neither of us lived in DC at the time, so it was like if we
That
if we
was
happen
the
to be in the
wildest
same city.
fucking weekend ever.
Holy shit. We'll have to do a story time maybe on that one time. And
Yeah.
then the next time we saw each other, we were both married. So that was that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So definitely came out of left field. Is not at all what I thought was going to happen that weekend. And then, oh, here we go.
And what's crazy is like he was one of them like pass around niggas.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know a
Like,
whole
he was for the
lot of people
streets.
that went down that road. Yes.
He was for the
definitely
streets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but hey. I mean,
yeah.
long
But
as
I've
we
never
all know.
had a situation like this with a strain. Okay, well, I've had stranger situations, but those were all like I made a determination of what I was going to do, and then I.
Do tell. You got a story for us?
I think I've already told those stories on the
Story
one
time,
night.
story
We did a one night stand story time. I already told those.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or some of them.
All right. Yeah. See, yeah. Not that this is my MO, but it has happened enough with me. Remember you were telling me about the guy in Subway? That was cute. And then I was like, don't tell me. Because then we'd always be at that Subway. Like, why we always get free food at this Subway?
Patootie. Yeah. And then they closed that Subway, and so that was that.
That was that. Damn, I can't fuck for a tuna sandwich. So horrible. Okay, so I'm trying to think if I had like an unexpected. I mean, yeah, it's just been friendships where it was just like, oh, we ended up here, and again, like I have no problem showing my puss, showing a titty.
You do
He
not.
didn't either, and then I was like, well, that's a nice
Since
looking
we're here.
dick. How about I bounce on it? So
Hey, all right.
yeah.
It's funny. My partner and I were just having the friends like, and we've already talked about this, and I think he just forgot about one of the friends that I had sex with because
was this like because he was watching your video?
No. Oh no,
Okay.
no, we never did that.
I mean,
This
yeah,
was
but
because
okay.
it was because somebody called on my birthday.
Oh.
And I had already told him that story, but I guess he forgot. So I had to tell him that story again because that's the one time I ever cheated. Ooh, we should tell our cheating stories. Yes. Not now, but on another episode. It's the one time I ever cheated.
I ain't trying to get jacked up.
Well, anyway,
cheated.
he had
I've
forgot
cheated.
that was the person who I had cheated with or whatever. But I never hid that. I was very upfront about the fact that that was the situation that I did, and I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah, I'm like, you know,
we'll do cheating on another episode.
But yeah, so
cheating doesn't factor in here.
We're also so this makes me think of like friends that we fucked and how like some guys are like women and men can't be friends because there's always a chance that you're gonna fuck and that kind of thing. And I get it because I definitely have guy friends that I fuck. But the guy friends that I have fucked that I still keep around, like, there's like, it's not like we would get so wrapped up that was like, oh, and so it's like, all right, we did it, we good.
I think maybe some of that is because they don't know how to turn that off, and we do. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know
You
what
know
I
what?
mean?
It reminds me of what Akino said when we were interviewing
On the
her, and
show.
she was like, you take different energy different places. So like
Mm-hmm.
gynecologist sees pussy all day, but he ain't gonna take
Right.
gyno energy into seeing his woman's pussy.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, that's a really great analogy. I literally there's nothing
analogy.
I don't
Did you
have.
call it an analogy?
I was trying to just keep going, and then your bitch ass had to
Because you
point it
never
out.
fuck it up. So I'm sorry. You never fuck it up. I'm usually like, is that a word? Yes, Erica, it is a word. So
It's a wonderful analogy. Because like I remember when my partner and I were first having like in the beginning conversations about friends and exes and that kind of thing. I remember he's like there are certain subjects that I literally never talk to women who I'm not in a relationship with. He was like, because I don't ever want the conversation to go left.
there.
He was like, so I just don't put myself in those situations, and then I don't have to worry about it because it don't cross the line because I don't talk about those topics.
Yeah, I don't trust a nigga that'll come to me with for relationship advice. One, nigga, I'm not the one to be coming to for relationship advice because I'll be like, have a threesome, bring a friend in, show her how much you love her. I'm the wrong person. So like, don't fucking so I know if you trying to have my girl won't do nigga.
Yeah. You on some bullshit.
It ain't even it would be different if I knew that I gave solid advice to relationships. And not that I give fucked up advice, but no, it's not no. If you came to me hey, teach my wife how to suck some dick, great. You've got a fucking pro here, right? But you trying to she don't nigga.
Yeah, don't come to me complaining
you
about
telling me that
exactly.
trying to tell me you gotta no. So yeah, nah, nigga, nah. Yeah. So I just try to.
Well, it comes down to having healthy boundaries and not letting niggas suck you into their stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But so anyway, none of that has anything to do with what happened.
Girl, I didn't even get here. I'll get a new chair, y'all, because I mean I keep hearing it. Yeah. Well, long and short of the story, I like the wax puss. Kenrya likes a Caesar.
I know I like one little line, but I am not interested in the time or the effort or the pain that it takes to get there. So I only do it occasionally.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So yeah.
I don't care enough to put myself through that on a regular basis, especially not during COVID. I'm good.
Yeah. See,
but that's me.
I haven't had my eyebrows done, but definitely need the nails done. Okay. So, do you have anything else to say about this story before we move on to
what's turning us on?
Jesus.
No.
Fucking Christ.
I did.
Jehoshaphat. Okay, so.
Girl, I did it.
We're going to take a break and come back to
what's turning us on.
We'll be back.
Hey y'all. Today's a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it'd be fun to have your own show like us, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. And Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show gets put online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, literally everything, within minutes of finishing and uploading your recording. We use it here for the Turn On, and I can truly attest to the fact that it's pretty fucking dope. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. So join over 100,000 podcasters like us who are already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Just click the link in our show notes and you'll be able to get your own account set up. And if you sign up for a paid plan, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card and support our show. Let's create something great together. Sign up for Buzzsprout today.
Okay, y'all. So this week's What's Turning Us On first, I decided to bring out this is one of my bags that I keep. And I keep lots of things in. What's there? Those are some condos. This is my little travel massager. Ooh, I gotta pack sex toys for my Eat, Pray, Love. And do you know what sex toy I'm going to pack? This little puppy. So it's kind of the same concept as the rubber ducky, except it's not as loud. I don't think I charged it, so fuck.
That's okay. We don't need to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so
we're here now.
it's a cute little nipple
What's it do?
and clit stimulator. It provides vibration. It provides suction. If you don't want a little rubber ducky around your house and you just need something that looks a little more adult, this is your friend. I used this the other night and I was pissed because I had to change my sheets after.
Why? Oh, well, all right.
So,
Well done, little
y'all
puppy
need
thing.
this because this little puppy is fantastic. It's waterproof again. This little baby is going on my Eat, Pray, Love trip with me.
And it's a decent size. That's silicone,
It's silicone,
too, right?
so water-based lubes with it only. See how big it. I feel like I'm
on IG doing a makeup
This
tutorial.
is the color. This is the color. So yeah.
Yes,
So
okay.
this is a little nipple and clit stimulator. Of course, again.
I bet you can find some other places to use
Oh
that.
fuck
too.
yes! Like your
Yeah.
gooch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So happy I learned that word. Your gooch. Yeah, gooch. I'm always a fan of using a vibration when sucking dick. Like, if you cupping the balls and you got a little vibrator,
Yeah, some people
nothing
like
too.
it, some people don't, but it's worth a
It
shot.
can't be too much because, like, I have a little cock ring, a vibrating cock ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there he is. There he is. So I have a vibrating cock ring, and most guys say they don't like them because it's too distracting.
Well,
I actually like the idea
some
of
say it's
this.
distracting.
Just a little vibration because you can just waving. I like the idea of this because you can just add a little bit and take it away. A little bit, take it away. You don't. It can be the equivalent of sprinkling some salt on it. Whereas this is
Okay.
Okay, y'all. So that wraps up this week's episode of The Turn On. This is Erica and Killa making it clap.
Making it clap. This episode was produced by us, Kenrya and Erica, and edited by Ballistic. The theme music is from Brazy. Hit subscribe right now in your favorite podcast app and at youtube.com/The Turn On Podcast so you'll never miss an episode.
Then follow us on Twitter at The Turn On Pod and Instagram at The Turn On Podcast. And you can find links to books, transcripts, guest info, what's turning us on, and other fun stuff at theturnonpodcast.com.
And don't forget to email us at theturnonpodcast@gmail.com with your book recommendations and your pressing sex and related questions.
And you can support the show by leaving us a 5-star review, buying some merch, or becoming a patron of the show. Just head to theturnonpodcast.com to make that happen.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Holla.